Hello, and welcome to the weekly broadcast of Strategic Speaking for Results. I'm Elizabeth Bachman, your host. Recently, I was working with a female client whose manager was actively blocking her, a man. And as we were working on the strategy for getting what she needed, I kept thinking, I've heard this story before. A tyrannical superior who has the financial power and temporal power, or a group of lower ranked people who had to work together to get what they needed done, convincing the tyrant that the solution was his idea. It's the Marriage of Figaro, Le Nozze di Figaro, composed by Mozart. Now, to be precise, Mozart wrote the music to a libretto written by Lorenzo da Ponte that was an adaptation of a play written by Beaumarchais. But the theme of the servant outwitting the master has been with us since Commedia dell'arte in 16th century Italian theater, and probably before, but Commedia is the one that has survived to this century. For centuries, women and minorities have had to fit and adapt the way they present themselves to men in power in order to get what they need. So we shouldn't be surprised if these habits are still with us. To keep things simple, I'm only addressing men's language versus women's language today. It's a huge subject. If you want to know more, check my YouTube channel or check my website. What's important is that modern business is evolving. There has been progress. Many business leaders now recognize that they'll have more profits if they include different voices in leadership positions, if they listen to different viewpoints, which can inform their decisions and prevent tunnel vision. Actively making an effort to create an engaged business culture will attract new talent and reduce turnover. And yet, we all know that habits are hard to break. The way we're socialized as children does stay with us as adults. The important part is to recognize it when it happens. What can you do about it? Be aware. Awareness is everything. Here are 3 specific things that you can do to change these habits. First of all, claim your voice. In opera, the Countess sings to express her feelings, but she never actually addresses her husband directly. In the 21st century, women still encounter social pressure to discourage assertiveness and to stop them from speaking up. So speak up. There are a lot of tools you can use to help you do that. Secondly, enroll your allies and your advocates. It takes Figaro, Susanna, the Countess, and Cherubino working together to get the solution that they need. And note that in the opera, Figaro is a servant. He's a lower class person, so he is a token woman in this metaphor. In the modern workplace, one of the best ways to move forward is to enroll the allies who will tell you if, for instance, you're apologizing all the time, or if you are sabotaging yourself and not being heard. Also, an ally can reinforce your voice if you're being talked over in meetings. And look for advocates who will say good things about you to the people who make the decisions. Endorsements from a third party are always better than saying good things about yourself, especially if you're a woman. Third, practice active listening. Learn how to listen to what's behind someone's stories. Why does someone think the way they do? What is motivating them? Instead of doing what most of us do, which is to listen, and while we're listening with one ear, the rest of our brain is involved in thinking about what are we going to say next, look for the messages, listen for the messages behind the words. Men, if you're listening to this, you can support the women that you care about by asking them what they need. Let them know that perhaps that you are wired to solve a problem, so your brain is going to go there first. But if they just need to be heard, you're willing to just listen. Habits are hard to change, but we can change them. And if we notice what's going on, and if we notice the ways that we're sabotaging ourselves, we can work on integrating and creating a better world for everyone. This has been Strategic Speaking for Results. I'll see you on the next one.